This is part 3 of this series. Let's take a look at the spiritual implications, especially in regards to our view of God, of these 4 levels being injured. We'll go in reverse order because the further you go down, the more amazing it becomes. Level 4 is the right orbital prefrontal cortex that controls your way of behaving, your way of acting like yourself. So if your level 4 is off, it's hard for you to conceptualize somebody having a skill that you yourself do not have on at the current moment. So, if you're having difficulty knowing what you should do in a situation, you will tend to think that in the situation in which you were challenged, God Himself won't know how to help you. So you may pray and pray, but not be able to have faith that He will come through in your painful situation. The third level is the Singular Cortex. This is the level where you emotionally synchronize with others into 8 energy states of the negative emotions of shame, hopeless despair, fear, disgust, anger, and sadness, and the 2 positive energy states of joy and peace, for a total of 8. If you're missing some of those, you're going to have a hard time imagining that God could catch you in the emotional energy state that you cannot return to joy from, because between birth and age 2, as I explained briefly in lesson 1, your brain learns how to get back to joy from each negative emotion by looking into your mother's face, which teaches your singular cortex the pathway from the joy you hit the negative emotion, helps you get back out. If you miss this, and you feel a negative emotion your mother couldn't get back to joy from, you have 2 options. Either you're going to end up being stuck in that emotion, or you're going to switch to a different emotion, which might be inappropriate for the situation, in order to get back to joy. So if you have a hard time with anger, you're going to imagine that God has a hard time with anger too, and whenever you do something you think displeases Him, He'll think He's angry at you. If you have an issue with disgust, you're going to think whenever you displease Him, He's disgusted with you. If you have an issue with fear, whenever you do something which you believe is wrong, you're going to be afraid of Him. And on it goes through all the 6 negative emotions. So, that basically covers it for the singular cortex. Level 2 is the amygdala. If you have issues here and you're fear-bonded, which means that your brain subconsciously is attracted to things that are bad or scary, instead of to things that are joyful, you're going to be afraid of God. You could be afraid of your spouse, of your kids, of the government. You may find yourself being afraid of everything and talking negatively about everything because you think everything is out to get you. And if this goes too far, if your amygdala gets overly misprogrammed, you could actually end up close to the schizophrenic state because unending fear can eventually cause delusions. So keep this in mind. The 2 solutions are the following. Either have a level of joy that surpasses in intensity the strongest negative emotion you ever felt. This will reset the amygdala. Or secondly, you need to have a healthy community that will keep feeding joy into the system until the amygdala gets retrained. Depending on the intensity of your community and its size, this could take weeks, months, or years. So pray for a fast solution, either in community, as in a few weeks, or an instant reset with a special divine appointment. Here's the most serious level, the thalamus, level 1. If you don't feel connected to other people, you'll have a hard time believing that God even notices you, and you're going to end up living your life, even if you're a Christian, as if God didn't exist, because your life won't feel connected to other people, to God, or even to yourself. You can get into a state of mind called depersonalization disorder, where your own self doesn't feel like you. You don't feel like you belong to yourself. And this can create a deep sense of psychological separation. The solution for this is a good friend who knows how to bond to you and is there in all of your negative emotions, a brother or a sister for all times and all places until your brain learns that basic sense of security. I need to mention the cures for levels 3, the singular cortex, and level 4, the right orbital prefrontal cortex, which I forgot to mention earlier. And that is, for the singular cortex, you need people who can handle all 6 negative emotions and can, by their interactions with you and their facial expressions, lead you back to joy from any of those states. For the 4th level, you need people who are bonded to you who can show you how to act in situations where you're not sure what to do, where you feel overwhelmed, and as you learn to trust them and grow, you'll be able to act in ways that you didn't know before. And as you gain these skills, it'll be easier for you to conceptualize that God has these skills, which of course he does. And once these 4 levels are fixed, you're ready for the left brain, which is correct intellectual concepts of God, which best work after the first 3 levels have been, the first 4 levels have been successfully put online. Thank you very much, and God bless you very much.